Hello, Reverend Angela. Wanting to read to you from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 6, verses 4 to 8. 4 to 6. Let's say 4 to 6. And Jesus said to them, "A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own kin, and his own house. And he could do no mighty work there, except that he laid his hands upon a few sick people and healed them. And he marveled because of their unbelief." I want to read to you from the Good News version. That was the New Revised Standard. "Prophets," Jesus said to them, "are not respected everywhere except in their own hometown and by their relatives and family." He was not able to perform any miracles there, except that he placed his hands on a few sick people and healed them. He was greatly surprised because the people did not have faith. I read to you from A Reflection a Day, and the reading for today is from this particular reference, verse 6, and I wrote, "I hope the Lord is not amazed at our lack of faith. How do you express your faith in God, and would others recognize it as deep faith?" This is not an easy time for any of us. I think that we would have all presumed that the year was going to be much like last year, and maybe even better in terms of what we hoped would happen, economically anyway. And so here we are. And what are we going to do about the situation in which we find ourselves? What does it mean to be a people of faith, a people of deep faith at this time? How would people recognize? How will people recognize? How can people recognize? How do people recognize that we have faith? I think that we can answer that in so many different ways, and each of you may have your own way of answering. But what I want you to think about is the level of your positive conversation, the way that you leave people feeling perhaps more positive, even if you are talking facts, but then you get into feelings or thoughts or prayer, but something that leaves them higher than you found them. Perhaps you pray with people and you ask them to pray with you so that together you trouble the throne of grace. Perhaps as you read your scriptures, you come across verses that are a source of encouragement, and you can quote that to someone, or at least quote the reference, so that they can go and feast at the table. Perhaps you can play your worship music so that your hymns or whatever you like, so that your home is filled with blessing. Perhaps you can admit when you're choked up. Perhaps you can admit that today is not a good day. Perhaps you can admit that you're having a hard time. Perhaps you can admit that you're not sleeping as well as you did because you're carrying people in your heart, or because you are praying through the night, because you are thinking about the future and you're living too many days at a time, and you found that your fear is running away with you. Whatever it is, I pray that your faith will be an honest faith, that your faith will be an active faith. I pray that your faith will be one that you nurture, that you do what you need to do, that you write your letters to God so that you can pour out your heart, that you talk to people who leave you feeling positive, that you know when to switch from looking at all of the news and you go to something that's some comedy or a movie that you find inspiring, just something to bless you, So I encourage you to broaden your horizon of understanding and deepen your faith in whatever way you can, so that as you have conversations with other people, as you have interaction on the phone or in any form, that you become a source of light, as we've talked before, in the darkness. Allow your faith to be more contagious than the virus. God bless you.